Welcome to Trout Talk on Saga 960 AM. Zach Bodenstein, Brennan Lang, and Mike Karafalidis with you on this Sunday afternoon. And guys, it's been a really good stretch for the Mississauga Steelheads lately, but more importantly, has it been a recent good stretch for you? How are you fellas doing?
You know what?
Could be better.
Yeah, doing pretty good, Zach. The weather's been pretty good the past couple of days. It's starting to get really nice out. I know it's supposed to cool down a little bit and then sort of get warm again. So who knows? Maybe we're getting an early spring. Maybe the groundhog was right. Usually I'm not a follower of what the groundhog's telling me, but maybe he was right this time. I think he averages at like a 26% clip. So I mean, I don't know why anybody would ever listen to him, but I think this year he's going to be correct because we barely had winter. Like there wasn't even much snow at any time. So I think we're coming.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance you get a big snowfall in March. It always, there's always a possibility of that. But so far, we've kind of in the clear.
It's always a tease, man. It's always a tease, Brendan.
It's true.
A tease in March, and then March comes, and then
100%.
Always for the life of me, but. Anyway, for me, yeah, as long as I wake up in the morning, I'm breathing, I'm okay. So the day's good. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's
I'm not doing or anything. I'm just saying in general.
Hey,
yeah.
It's good,
it always seems to strike in March. It's always March for whatever reason. I remember last year I couldn't even make it to a Steelheads game against North Bay because I don't live close to Mississauga and the weather was so bad. That was a good even chance to shut us out. So
I was doing that game, yes. I remember
Yes.
going into James Richmond's office and he said, "Where is everybody?" And I told him, Zach's not here. And he said, "What? I live further than he does."
I didn't know that.
That's hilarious. That's okay.
Anyway, so yeah, guys, I mean, it's funny because we record this a week apart from the snowstorm that we had last week. And today it was gorgeous. I didn't have to throw on a jacket today. It was perfect. So yes, up and down. Hopefully it's a sign to come. Spring training baseball gets going. It's all good.
Did you see any of the game today?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I did.
Yeah.
8-0 by the first inning.
Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez double out there.
Yeah.
Man, their Dodgers are going to be good. Anyways.
Yeah. I know.
Who plays for the Dodgers now?
Everybody.
Okay, Oscar Hernandez plays for the Dodgers?
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh, who else don't they have?
They got everybody, yeah. But
I don't think it knocked out first round.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it on Sunday or Monday, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's the best team on paper in MLB never wins. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's so hard to buy a World Series like in its entirety. Like, I know recent World Series champions have, they've spent their fair share of money. They've acquired some big guys that they need, but it's not like the entire nucleus of the team. You need depth, you need luck, you need health, you need, contributing players. So so
that's where the unsung heroes come into play in the playoffs.
For sure.
And that's what I like the most. I mean, the Dodgers can have whoever they want. Ohtani, that other guy, Hernandez, that other guy, the other guy. They got like a million guys, whatever Hernandez, right? I hope they get knocked out first round, and that's it. That's all. I couldn't care less about those kind of teams. Money, spend. Out you go. Right. Get the team in there with heart that's going to win it all. I love it. I love the underdog move. Always have.
Well, it doesn't always prosper in baseball, but let's talk about the Steelheads because, yes, like as I mentioned off the top, it has been a really fun, good stretch for Mississauga lately. The weekend didn't start off with 2 points, Mikey, but that said, there is a lot to like about the way they played in Kitchener, a 6-5 OT loss.
Oof, well, they were down 5-1 at one point, right? 5-1 at one point, the Steelheads were down. And I think Angus McDonnell just kind of got a little bit mad and took the team on his shoulder, and he ended up having a hat trick that game, right? He played well. Chaz Sharp played well in that comeback. They were just really pushing the Kitchener Rangers big time, but they couldn't really recover from the beginning. They got off to a 4-0 lead, the Kitchener Rangers, right? But that was a step for the weekend to come back, even to lose that game in overtime and get a point. Those are the games, the measuring stick games, I guess you call them, right? And then they took that and they said, all right, with the confidence, and they took that into Saturday. We know we can come back and beat anybody. And that's the thing about this team. They think they can beat anybody, which is amazing, right? So anyways, they took that confidence from that point and they built it for the weekend, right? So to come back from that and to get a point in Kitchener in front of was impressive.
Yeah, it was huge. And again, we talked about it a lot on the show, but just getting down early was a theme for them there for kind of a stretch of games. And it happened again in Kitchener, but they were able to bounce back. Like you said, Mikey, it's so important to just be able to scratch out a point in that game. Yes, you don't get the win, but just to be able to get back into the game, you have somebody, a leader on your team like McDonnell, pretty much put the team on his back and
Yes, he
scored
did.
3 goals in that one. And like you said, got a little bit angry. He plays the best when he's angry. He gets in there, he gets the 3 goals. Like that's just a huge, like you said, confidence booster and a big job for them to be able to get the 1 point. And then it kind of changed up as they went into the weekend. They starting out the games a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. Sorry, Zach. I mean, Angus McDonnell, just to finish off McDonnell in that game against Kitchener, he could have had 4 or 5 goals. Parsons made two amazing stops on him. One on the 3-on-3. I don't know if you guys remember on the breakaway.
Oh yeah,
He just flashed out the glove. If Angus would have got that puck a little bit higher, game over. Steelheads win. Just saying. So man, he was something that game, and this is the Angus McDonnell, and everybody's starting to get going, and he took the team in his shoulders that game.
he's on a tear right now, and yeah, that was in overtime. He undresses Cam Reed and then goes back and Parsons great save. So again, credit where it's due. That's a really good Kitchener team. It's a really tough building to play in. Steelheads get a point. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but last episode we were talking about, how nice would it be if the Steelheads were to just win a coaster, start to finish, full 60, complete effort. In my opinion, they did it twice, and Mikey, it all started with a 4-2 win over the Kingston Frontenacs.
Very clean victory, as they say. Clean, tidy, beating Kingston. The forecheck was good. It was just James Richmond's hockey, and this is what he wants, right? Everybody's starting to come together now, guys. I'm going to give you. I wrote down some stuff about the weekend, and this is how good the stats have been on the weekend. So 3 games, all right. McDonnell 3 goals and an assist. Okay. Lucas Carmiris, 1 goal, 5 assists in 3 games. Unbelievable. Porter Martone, a goal and 3 assists. Chaz Sharp, 3 goals, 2 assists, guys. Jack Van Volsen, 2 goals and an assist. Luke Misa, a goal and 2 assists on the weekend. And Jakob Fibiger, very quietly, 4 assists on the weekend. This team, and they're really starting to click right now. They're really starting to go, and they're really starting to believe in themselves. But it was a clean win. Beautifully clean victory, just the way they played, the confidence level was up there. That fourth line was grinding against the Kingston Frontenacs as well. When they get those 4 lines going, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, they really can. And going with 7 defensemen as well. Adam Zidlicki out of the lineup. And we talked about it on the show before, just how much of a luxury that they have to be able to go with those 7 guys. Draguska back from injury a few games ago, and then you get Reed Gee in there, and you can kind of shuffle it around a little bit. And all the names that you just said there, Mikey, we talked about it too on previous episodes where when you're in a bit of a slump, which happens to every team, you need those top guys to be there to pull you out of it. So you talk about McDonnell, you talk about Chaz Sharp, the captain, talk about Porter Martone, all these names are there. And then all the depth scoring comes into place. Lucas Carmiris had a great weekend.
Dean Locust too.
Dean Locust, yes. Dean Locust had a great weekend as well. You talk about the fourth line. Sherratt scores in the game against Kingston. Witkowski, McGregor, Richmond. Like everybody just seems to be coming together at the right time, and it all starts at the top. When those guys are going, it just allows everybody else to kind of just fall into place a little bit better.
For sure. I mean, I've been calling them the identity line on air just because they really do have that identity. They've been playing in the offensive zone for the majority of their shifts, so let's give them credit. And then McGregor Richmond told us after the game, after suffering an upper body injury, he would be okay. So that's good news.
Good to hear, yeah.
I just want to go on a little bit of a rant about the Kingston Frontenacs because, guys, I was so disappointed with their effort. I mean, to Mississauga's credit, they played their game. They wore them down. But, like, down by 3, they had absolutely zero urgency. They were on a penalty kill. They were pinning the puck in their own zone with 5 minutes left, down by 3. They cut it to within 2. No celebration, no timeout. Then finally, with 14 seconds left, there's a timeout. And the coaches aren't even involved. Like, what is going on in Kingston? They fire Luca Caputi. They bring in Troy Mann with AHL experience. And to me, it just looked like such a defeated team, Mikey. The body language was so telling. Like, they looked like in that third period, they wanted nothing more than to just leave the ice and take the loss.
Yeah, it was. I found it odd. We talked about it, of course. I found it odd they called the timeout, and the players are just kind of standing there on the side, and there's no whiteboard going on. They're down by 2, and they're just. I don't know. I just found that odd. They fired Luca Caputi. They bring in Troy Mann. Troy Mann's done a great job. Don't get me wrong with the Kingston Frontenacs ever since he's come in. But yeah, they just, I don't know. They just looked off. I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment on that specific part too much. I was in the Steelheads tunnel at the time of this thing, waiting for the interview to happen, so I didn't see kind of the timeout, and you guys just talked about it afterwards. But yeah, I mean, just an odd spot to be in for a team that obviously is competing for a playoff spot and trying to compete for home ice. So you would think that there'd kind of be a little bit more urgency in that kind of situation.
So that was the 4-2 win over Kingston. Maybe the best win that they had was on the Family Day Monday, 5-1 over the Owen Sound Attack. And they made Carter George, Mikey, look human after all.
Oh, I mean, how about I mean, they were just pounding shots on Carter George, and the way they were cycling the puck, the Steelheads, was absolutely phenomenal. And this against this Owen Sound, high-powered Owen Sound team that has Colby Barlow, Danny Gore, Ethan Burrows. They have, I mean, the list goes on and on. Back on defense, they got Connor Smith they just acquired, you know, a guy that had our, you know, we talked about had our number when he was with the Peterborough Petes. I mean, they made Owen Sound look mediocre for a team that's stacked, and Carter George made him look human, as you said. How about that goal by Dean Locus? Guys, he came down that right side. He's so smooth. Right over the shoulder of Carter George. Carter George had no idea. He's like, whoa. You know, even we were like, oh, that's exactly right. Right? You know, my kid always going like that all the time. My goodness, yeah. What a complete win. Another clean victory.
Yeah, I mean, a clean victory is just the perfect way to say it. Zach, you were saying, you know, we'd like to see some painless wins. That's another one. You had that Jack Van Volsen scores 2 goals. That's another name that you can throw in there as well, who's playing some great hockey right now. And yeah, the Dean Locus goal, perfect timing, just makes one move to the outside and then a great shot. He is really a guy that's extremely important on this team. I mean, an overage player who's somebody that has playoff experience, has played well in the playoffs in the past. If you look at his numbers, he's just somebody that they can really, really lean on down the stretch, and somebody that you can kind of know exactly what you're going to get from him every time he goes out on the ice. He's
been the perfect trade acquisition as far as I'm concerned for this team. I mean, even setting up Lucas Carmiris' goal to open the scoring, he intercepts a pass from Colby Barlow in the neutral zone and then springs Carmiris up ice, goal off the rush. And then he scores a goal of his own. We know what he can do on the power play, but like the way he is defensively, his leadership, it is. And come playoff time, guys, we know that is going to be such valuable experience.
Well, it's that line. It's that whole line, right?
That's
it's Martinel, Carmiris, and Locus, not Lucas, Locus, right? So those three have been absolutely clicking. Carmiris and Locus act like they've been playing together for 3 years together. And McDonnell too. Like those three have been playing absolutely phenomenal. So now you got those three on that first line, and then you drop Misa to the second line with Porter Martone. Those two, you all know the magic that they have in that second line. Then you got the third line. Everybody's clicking right now. So let's just, you know, if you're a Steelheads fan, of course, let's just hope they keep moving that way.
All right, so the Steelheads get 5 of 6 points on that weekend and another 3-3 coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up. But first, we're going to have a special guest from the Steelheads after the break. This is Saga 960 AM's Trout Talk. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Zach Bodenstein, Brendan Lang, Mike Karafalidis. We are pleased to be joined, and I can't believe it's taken this long, guys, but we are pleased to be joined by Steelheads rookie goalie Jack Ivankovic. He has been phenomenal this year, a phenomenal lad, and I met him actually before he stepped on the ice for the Steelheads. So, Jack, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Jack. So let's just talk about your season so far. I mean, wild transition to the OHL, and you've been playing quite a bit, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's been very fun so far. The year's kind of flown by pretty fast. Now we have like 14 games, I think, left. You know, it's pretty crazy. And just getting drafted by my hometown is definitely a dream come true. And to start playing the season with the group of guys that we have was definitely very good.
And Zach just kind of said, you know, wild transition coming into the OHL. What's kind of the biggest difference that you've noticed, you know, playing minor hockey? Obviously, every time you go up a level, there's going to be difference in skill, but I would think that this would be by far the biggest jump yet.
Yeah, no, definitely the speed of the guys and just the size. Everyone's a lot bigger, and they're a lot older now, so everyone can shoot the puck a lot harder.
Yeah, I'd say you've transitioned pretty well. Uh, your very first OHL regular season start was against the Oshawa Generals, a team that your dad played for,
Yeah.
right? He's got quite the name there, as I remember. How did that feel? Talk about that first OHL start and your dad being in the building. Your dad's, of course, pretty much a legend there, as far as I'm concerned. So talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I think talking with my dad about that, that'll be getting my first start there where he played. It was definitely very cool, and definitely something we'll both remember the rest of our lives.
Well, Jack, what about your dad's influence? Because we mentioned it. He's an OHLer. He's your father. He's been drafted to the NHL. So talk to me about, how he helped you kind of find your way and how he's still helping you find your way as a goalie and as a young man.
Yeah, no, he's always kind of helped me on the ice as a hockey goalie, but just being a dad and someone I could kind of look up to. And ever since I was little, he would always push me in a good way and keep making me work hard and keep talking to him like I do still now.
And you'd mentioned too, it's a cool experience about you being able to be drafted by your hometown team. I kind of want to just get more of kind of an in-depth look at what the draft was like. What was it kind of going into it? Were you hearing from other teams? Did you kind of know it was going to be Mississauga? How did the whole thing kind of shake out?
Yeah, no, I didn't really know I was going to Mississauga until like the day of the draft, maybe. But we were kind of pushing for it to be Mississauga, so I could stay close to home, live at home still. But no, just going into the draft, I think when I got picked by Mississauga, all my family was really happy, and yeah, I'll definitely never forget that.
Oh wow, yeah, that's quite the accomplishment. I mean, you were pushing for Mississauga, Jack. I mean, you wanted to go there, and you went there. Not a lot of players can say that, and be drafted in the first round like yourself. But let's talk about the growing up and you playing with the Mississauga Senators, you going to the under 17s there in PEI. Talk about that experience. I mean, you won the gold medal. You were player of the tournament, right? Unbelievable, just unbelievable. Talk about that and how much confidence that you brought back with you from that tournament to the Steelheads.
Yeah, no, that tournament definitely gave me a lot of confidence playing there. Kind of new group, fresh start of guys there. But no, that was definitely something that was really fun. And I went to PI before for another hockey tournament, so it was kind of cool back playing at the same rinks. So I guess I had a little advantage there, but no, it definitely helped me coming back to the Steelheads, kind of bringing some confidence back.
All right, we are starting to think playoffs now because, as you mentioned, 14 games left. Let's gas your teammates up a little bit. Your defense core has been rock solid so far this year, but especially lately. I think 5-on-5, you guys have been such a tremendous team, and a lot of that goes towards the back end. So let's talk about that D core in front of you.
Yeah, no, they've been great, honestly, all year. Every single guy back there has been good, starting from our older guys like Captain Chaz Sharp back down to the younger guys like Drags and PVR and stuff. But no, they've made it definitely very easy for me, letting me see all the shots and kind of just keeping everyone in front of me.
And a name that you mentioned right there, and Luke Draguska. So he played same age as you, also Kieran Witkowski, same age. Both of them played on the Marlies. You played on the Senators. So do you remember playing against them coming up through the years? And
Yeah.
what's it like now to be on the same team with them?
No, it's cool. I've known Kieran since I was about maybe 8 years old, kind of playing together in spring hockey. I never really got to play with him on the same team, but I remember always having battles with those two guys for the last 3 years now. They're always competitive games, and then getting drafted to the same team. Now we kind of still talk about minor hockey and all the games that we've played against each other.
Let's talk about this past weekend against the Kitchener Rangers when you came in relief of Ryerson Leaders. It was a tough game for Ryerson. Of course, every goalie's going to have that type of game. But when you came in, you just total confidence. You were just stopping everything in sight, and then Saturday stopping everything in sight, and you're just, I don't know, you just amaze me and everybody else the way you play each and every game, right? And I mean, talk about like some of the guys that you looked up to when you were a kid. Talk to me about some of that. Talk to me about some of the coaches that you still talk to, maybe that when you were younger, that helped you along the way.
Yeah, no, obviously my Sens coaches, Lucky DeGrazia, and Thorny was also one of my coaches on the Sens.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
He coached me for 4 years before now. And just talking to him even before this year, just kind of going through about the OHL because he played. And then now still kind of talking to him, not still as a friend. Like I like to talk to him just about, doesn't need to be about hockey, just about life and stuff. So he's definitely someone I like to talk to.
He's definitely a good guy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Could talk to him about anything.
Yeah, we got to get him on probably next or around, before playoffs, right?
Yeah, for sure. You should.
So, Jack, we even talked about this on the broadcast. I noticed it against Kingston, but then I also noticed it against Owen Sound. The way you've been tracking the puck, like you're just finding everything through traffic. A puck pops up, you're right on it. So, is that for you the biggest indicator that you're really locked in, that you're finding that puck super easily?
Yeah, that's definitely something that my game kind of like to think of. If you can see the puck, you can stop it, and especially with a good decor like we talked about, they make it super easy for me to stop the puck.
We're talking about Thorny there, but another guy on the coaching staff, the goalie coach, and Chris Beckford too. How has he been able to help you develop here so far?
No, he's been great. Just talking to him, doing video with him, him kind of giving me tips on just stuff, little things to look at, and him playing goalie too. Just another good voice to hear from in a goalie perspective, but just also talking to him.
Are there any guys that you still keep in contact with from that winning team out in PEI?
Yeah, no, two of my best buddies over there, Tyler Hopkins and Matthew Schaefer. I talk to them probably at least once a day, so they're kind of my two of my best buddies.
And what do you and Schaefer talk about?
I don't know, Mikey, if you could talk about that.
It's all right. It's all
But
good.
you never know.
We're all family here. No, I'm just
Yeah.
right. Gotcha. All right.
We'll figure it out off air, guys. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Jack, I mean, like it's been such a great season for you, and down the stretch right now, what do the Steelheads have to do in your mind in order to solidify playoff position, get home ice, and just put yourselves in the best position for success?
No, I think we got to keep playing like we have been at the start of the year, and then these last couple games, I thought we played really strong. So I think if we keep playing our game and the way we want to play, I think we'll be perfectly fine going into playoffs.
And we've talked a little bit about it so far, but you're playing kind of in a tandem right now with Ryerson Leanders, another young guy who's in his second season right now. How has the relationship been? Obviously, you're kind of competing against each other for ice time in the net, but also just how's that relationship maybe kind of built off the ice and helping each other?
Yeah, no, me and Rye have a good relationship. We've kind of bonded really good, and it's good because we both push each other in practice to get better, and I think that really helps my game to have someone to push me to get better every day.
Jack, who do you bill it with?
I live by myself.
Okay.
I live at home. I think Van Volsen and Carmiers were a little scared to tell you guys, but no, I live by myself.
That little guy, I can't. That's not right. Right. I'm just kidding. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, you can come in and out at home and all that kind of stuff. I just thought we thought that you lived with Carmiers and Van Volsen. So okay. Well, in their mind, they do. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with them a lot. So
yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, who do you hang out with the most? Because you are living at home with Mr. Frank and family, but who are some of the boys that you're hanging out with the most? I guess Carmi and Van Volsen.
Yeah, I think I hang out with those two guys, and then Porter. I hang out with Porter a lot. He drove me to school, drove me home from the rink all the time. Now we just kind of bonded, like close relationship, and he comes over all the time. So us, me, Carmi, Vanner, Marty, and then Rye, we always kind of hang out together all the time.
You say going back and forth from school. I feel like sometimes we forget that like some of these the players, still in high school. So how are you able to kind of balance everything? Obviously, you're on the ice a ton, but sort of staying on top of everything in the school regard as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. We don't go to school that long. We just short day, but our coaches definitely make sure we stay on top of stuff.
What happens if you miss school?
I haven't yet done that, so let's not try to find out.
Yeah, he's not trying to find out what happened. JR, he puts the hammer down. He lays down the law.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
But it really is, it does bring up a good point, guys, about how important education is, when you're trying to balance the two. So, Jack, your commitment to school, I mean, what's a day in your life like balancing the hockey and class?
Yeah, no. So now I go to second period with actually Carmirez, Martone, and Rye. We all have the same class together. So we're all in the same baking class.
Baking?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we have that.
That should be funny. That should be
fun.
It's
a good, fun class. And then I have second or third period, and then we just go out for lunch, grab a quick bite, go to the rink, and then we work out, have practice, and then most of the time we're done by 4:30 every day. So it's nice to get to go home for dinner.
What are you guys baking? What's been the number one thing?
Well, recently we've just been making like pizzas and cookies. I don't know if you're that good yet to make any of the.
Yeah, it's a guy thing. Pizza and cookies. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it, buddy. Trust me. That's all you need to know right now. When you get older, then you still keep the same pizza, cookies. That's it.
Sounds good.
So what do we have it tonight? Pizza. All right.
Mikey actually asked this a couple episodes ago, but since we're talking about it, who would be the cook on the team? Like if everybody got together and you're making a meal, who's making it?
That's a hard one. I don't know.
Read you, buddy. I could see it. And he'd get mad at you guys if you guys didn't like it.
I think honestly, Finn could be the cook.
I can see that.
I think that's a great answer.
Yeah, he's kind of the smart one in the group. So.
Yes, he is very, very smart.
Yeah.
All right. So you're looking at film yourself. You're looking at film of other goalies. What other goalies do you look at? Whether do you look at film wise? Who you compare yourself to? Of course, you probably heard this question a million times, but you know what? We want to know, and people in Trout Talk want to know.
I watch a lot of UC Soros film, Nashville Predators goalie. I kind of like to model my game after him and Devin Levi on Buffalo. They both really they have good skating, and I kind of like to model my game like them just because of their skating and how their ability to get the pucks on their feet and track the puck.
Here's one for you to try to get in the mind of Jack Ivankovic. In between whistles, when you're skating corner to corner like what Marc-Andre Fleury does, where did that start from?
I think just a young age watching almost every NHL goalie kind of do that. I kind of thought, yeah, maybe I should try this. So I did it one time, and I think it just kind of stuck with me.
And when you're getting ready for a game, like how are you locking in? You're starting. Are you listening to music? Do you have superstitions that you're following? How does that kind of work?
I don't have that. I don't have any superstitions really. I just kind of listen to my music, and then most of the time I'm playing soccer with the boys, warming up together with them, but I don't get overly dialed for games.
Interesting. So there's no superstitions that you come out and, tape your stick a certain way, nothing like that.
No, I wouldn't.
Just whatever, get me in the net, I'm stopping the puck, and that's it.
Yeah, basically.
Very nice.
That's
the
a
way
good way
goalie
to be.
Thinks. Hey, I used to be a goalie too, so you're right. You just want to put the pads on, give me the stick, that's it. Yeah, back in the day, high school.
Maybe not,
buddy.
Maybe not a superstition, but what's like a typical pregame meal for you?
Normally I just eat just pasta and chicken.
Common answer.
Just the average answer.
Yeah.
I think
Pasta,
everybody's
chicken.
Nobody's
everybody's
answered that
got
question differently. There's not
Yeah.
one person on the
Yeah,
team.
what are they gonna really gonna say though? Well, I have nachos and cheese and nachos and cheese and some feta on the side and whatever. And,
No, that's
usual. But it would be funny though. Somebody came out and said, "I have nachos and cheese. I have hamburger loaded." I go to Harvey's. I grab 3 burgers. Hey, you never know.
Yeah, that's that's right.
It
So
would be funny.
you don't have any superstition. I think it was Parker Von Richter we were talking to, and he went through like a long list of things that he has to do before every game. Is there somebody on the team that, like, you see him doing the same thing, and you're like, yeah, that's a little bit odd?
I don't really think any of the guys on our team have too many like weird superstitions. Really, just kind of everyone does their own thing, their own routines. I wouldn't call them superstitions, but I know Porter and Angus and Rye throw the pucks before, but I think that's just messing around and kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, you don't sit there on the bench before the game and just like visualize kind of thing.
No,
I see a bunch of you guys do that sometimes.
Yeah, normally we just sit on the bench and chat.
That's it. Not visualize nothing.
No,
Okay.
normally we just have a good conversation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have a loose mind sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're a goaltender, man. Trust me, Jack. I know you got a different mindset. We got different mindset up here. So
yeah,
you're stopping pucks when you got 45 pucks coming at you a game. Yeah, let's just say that. So I know what you're thinking, buddy.
The last one for me. Again, we're gonna look ahead and start talking about playoffs a little bit. Have you talked to anybody about what might entail with the playoffs? Have you asked for advice in terms of like the different preparation, or is anybody giving you any good advice when it comes to that?
No, I've talked to a bunch of the guys about playoffs and last year and how it's a way different game. Like just the atmosphere, the stuff you can do, can't do, more of a trap down game, and not to give up the first goal. So kind of just talking to them and kind of getting the hear of what the do's and don'ts of playoffs are.
And we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Last one for me as well. Just going through the season, obviously it's a bit more of a grind here playing in the OHL. So how have you been able to sort of make sure, your body's staying healthy? You dealt with a bit of an injury there, but just making sure that you're ready to go day in and day out.
Yeah, no, I think we do a good job of doing our smart workouts and our cool downs after. I'm a big fan of the ice bath, so I get in that almost every practice after every game and stuff. So I think that really helps.
Jack, last one for me. What do you like to do outside of hockey, man? Got a little bit about Jack.
I like to golf in the summer. Golfing's
okay.
Golfing's fun for me. I have a membership at the course, like right next to my house. So
good for you.
I play golf a lot in the summer.
Anything else?
How's the game looking?
The golf game. I would say I'm pretty good. And
yeah,
I'm like a 7-8 handicap.
Oh
so.
wow, okay.
Do you like to skateboard down the hill? Do you like to go on the turnpipes? What do you like? What else do you like to do?
Skateboarding's a little dangerous for me, Mikey.
You know what? I don't know. What else? I mean, do you like to do the luge or even the Olympics?
I used to play baseball, actually.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, so just playing catch, like
nice.
with my friends and stuff. Football. I wouldn't play football.
Why not? I think you'd be a great corner, shutdown corner.
Wow.
I don't know if I want to get hit though.
Flag football. Don't worry about the hitting. Just flag. That's it.
I feel bad because the first time I met Jack, I sunk the winning putt against him, and I've never played golf. That was my first time ever playing golf. Remember I told you guys I thought 18 holes would take 2 hours, and I'd go to the gym after?
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know, and I sunk the winning putt. But, Jack, no, you look good out there, and that was really the first time I got to meet you. So, again, thanks for jumping on here, man. I really appreciate it, and we're going to be talking to you throughout the year, and best of luck going forward.
No, thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay, finally,
thanks, Jackie.
We got Jack Ivankovic on the show. So thanks for joining us, Jack. rookie goalie for the Mississauga Steelheads. And we'll be back here on News Talk Saga 960 AM. You're listening to Trout Talk. Welcome to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. We just spoke to Steelheads rookie goalie Jack Ivankovic. Always a pleasure catching up with him. Well-spoken for a 16-year-old. That's pretty much the theme, Brendan, for this team. But, I mean, what else can you say about Jack Ivankovic? I love the way he conducts himself, and his play on the ice speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think poise is a really good way to say it. He just seems really relaxed. You're talking to him there. He, again, you said very well spoken, and he plays very relaxed in the net too. Like for a 16-year-old, he's really positionally sound. He's in the right spots all the time, and you just have a sense of confidence every time he's in the net. Like anytime that they have great opportunities on the other side, if they're hemming the Steelheads in their zone, like he's going to be able to come up with a big stop. And I feel like that's so important when you're talking about, and both of these goalies have it. I mean, when you have two goalies like that, and talking about Jack, I mean, for the players, especially just knowing that maybe you can try that extra move on offense because you have a great goalie back there and somebody who's not going to get rattled by the moment. And I think he's shown that all year long. And I'm really excited to see him moving forward this year and into the playoffs. I think he kind of has the right mindset going into it as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's a great situation. Obviously, we talked about it all year with the two goaltenders that they have with Leenders and Ivankovic. Again, you name me a better 1-2 tandem in the league. I can't think of one. But, Ivankovic, listening to him, I think what I liked the most was when, we asked him about his pregame rituals, and he said, no, nothing. Just I get in there and I stop pucks. That's it. I like about him, all business, no talking. I get in there, I stop pucks, I get off the ice. Because, some guys, they have like a long list of things. You can say, as a goaltender, whatnot. Nothing from Jack, which is interesting. So I like that he's all business out there, and he's very confident. I don't think for a 16-year-old, how confident he is, it's mind-boggling.
100%. He's very relaxed. Sometimes a relaxed mind goes a long way for your confidence. I think we can see that with him. Ryerson's a little more soft-spoken. He was in this situation last year that Jack's in, being a rookie goalie. And he was playing a lot more games than we thought he would, given, everything that Alessio Bellieri went through, from the injuries to the World Juniors to the inconsistency. So I'm sure that those two have had a number of conversations about that. But it's been an awesome tandem. It has worked out tremendously. A lot of people who criticized James Richmond going Jack Ivankovic 7th overall in the draft are kind of biting their lips now because there's nothing else to say. It's worked out to perfection. So let's talk about this 3-3. And it sounds like, Brendan, on Friday against the Niagara Ice Dogs, they're going to throw Ryerson Leenders back in the goal.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at the time that this airing, that game will have happened already. Right. But yeah, Ryerson Leenders getting in the net, and then probably going back to Ivankovic for the Saturday game, and then we'll see how things shake out for the game coming up here after Trout Talk. But again, I mean, just having those two guys, and then obviously Ivankovic's playing extremely well right now, but still getting Ryerson into the net, playing against Niagara, a team that he's played really well against all season long. So getting him in there, maybe getting some confidence back with him, I just think can go a long way.
And it'd be perfect. I mean, if Ryerson starts on Friday, when obviously the game's going to be done, like we said, against the Niagara Ice Dog, he's always played well against them, right? Shutout against them. He's always 40-plus shots, whatnot. Maybe that's a game that's going to get the confidence level back up for Ryerson Leenders, right? So those are confidence builder games. So, I really like the situation. And the Sudbury Wolves coming up right after this. Again, I think this is the last time of the year these two teams meet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I believe so. This is it. So, and apparently there's going to be a special guest in the building that day. So we're going to try to get him on, Mr. Nick Haig. We'll see. But what a big game it is, and it's going to be a big game for both teams. We all know what's going on with the Wolves right now. Apparently, I really can't comment on it. I don't know about you guys, but really, what can we say? All we know is there's an investigation going on for a bounty gate, and that's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all. I don't think there's anything else that we can kind of talk about right now because we don't know details.
We don't know nothing. Yeah, no. I mean, we wouldn't know anything anyway. But just saying. Now, my question is, and is this Sudbury Wolves team now, because this is going on? Are they gonna play with a dark cloud over their heads? Are they gonna play a little bit less now? They're not gonna, give it their all. You know what I'm trying to say? This isn't gonna get in their heads, kind of thing, right? Don't forget these kids are 16 to 20-year-old kids, and what's going on with the investigation with the OHL. I guess time will tell, right? So, but hopefully everything's okay. I'll just say that. Hopefully everything's okay and nothing happens out of that. But we'll see how the Wolves play because of what's going on.
So let's talk about Saturday before we talk about Sunday too. Barrie Colts, a team that the Steelheads struggled with until they didn't, Brendan. They ended up exploding and defeating the Barrie Colts. It's a sneaky team that looks like it might be finishing 8th place. What are you looking forward to in this game?
Yeah, I think I like that you said kind of a sneaky team. They get in there at 8th place. Who knows? I mean, they can win some games. They can string some wins together. So it's always a good game when these two teams match up. You said it. It's kind of been a tough season so far for the Steelers against them. They beat them last time. Of course, I think it was 5-4. They won that game, exploding on offense. Their offense has really been clicking here recently. The power play has been going well. So I think, again, I mean, we always talk about it, but just winning games at 5-on-5 is so important for the Steelheads and just really staying out of penalty trouble. They've done it a little bit better recently. They're not in first place anymore in penalty minutes. London is like 100 penalty minutes ahead of Mississauga.
Well,
I was checking that out. I was like, my goodness, that flipped, but okay.
Tough place to play, man. Tough place to play.
But I just think, again,
on a Saturday night.
Playing 5-on-5 is so big for the Steelheads anytime that they any game that they play. So if they can win that battle, then you got to feel pretty good about their chances.
Stop Baudouin. You stop Baudouin, you win the game. Seriously. You stop Baudouin, you stop Jelsma, because Jelsma has a lot of goals, a lot of success against the Steelheads. You stop him, we all know probably Sam Hillebrand's going to get the start. Superman, when he plays against the Steelheads, great goalie. And it seems like every time he steps in against Mississauga, he plays well. So we all know he's going to get the start. And what did Mississauga do last time when they beat them? They got traffic in front of him. He couldn't see nothing. So, and Parker Von Richter with that winning goal. And Parker Von Richter said to me after the game when I was interviewing him, he said, they had our number before. Now we know. He goes, not anymore. He said, just the way he said it, not anymore. And I love that. So that's good. Yeah. So the confidence, that it's going to be a good one. That's going to be a great Central Division clash.
And then it's not easy finishing off a 3-3 against the number 1 seed in the East. We talked about them, we've talked about them a lot because they've played some high-scoring games against the Mississauga Steelheads this year. Vondras wasn't very sharp last time, Brendan. These two teams played. Their defense is something that we've constantly criticized. But at the same time, that's a team, the Sudbury Wolves, that can just score at will.
It really, really does seem that way. The last time they were here, they got out to a hot start against the Steelheads, really getting up on them. Obviously, Mississauga was able to fight back. But like you said, they really just seem like anytime they need a goal, they can go get one. And I feel like when you're playing against them for Mississauga, like you kind of know, okay, we're probably going to be able to score some goals in this game, whatever the number is that you're looking at. But can you keep them out of the net? And that's really the biggest thing. Can you keep the Sudbury Wolves out of the Steelheads net? I mean, that's just where it's going to lie. If you can shut them down, if you can shut down some of their top players, you're not going to be able to shut down all of them. There's just too many. Right. But if you can slow down some of them, then again, I think you have a good opportunity to score some goals. It's just more focused on slowing down some of their top players, which is difficult at the end of a 3-3 for sure.
They're going to be coming in that day. I'm not sure if they're going to be staying the night or what, but that's a 4:00 game and they're coming in and stuff like that. I think it is whatever, but you shut down their top guys. We know they don't like to play defense, right? Back there on D, cycle them every time the Steelheads cycled them in Mississauga. The last game they scored, kept getting shots on Vondras, just kept pumping them with shots, right? And giving up big rebounds. So you got to stop their tie. You got to stop Goya. You got to stop Dalibor Dvorsky, who seems to have great games against the Steelhead so far this year as well. David Goyette seems like he always comes live. Landon McCallum, the Steelhead killer, that's what I call him. Just seems like all the time when he plays Mississauga, comes up with these plays, unbelievable plays, and he's a good player. They got great talent up there. You stop them, you cycle them, you get that puck in deep. Don't let them get out of their own zone quickly, and get the good goaltending. Steelheads can win that game, no problem.
For sure.
And perhaps they'll be at full strength, too, with Zabeski and Zidlicki back in the lineup. I think a guy like Mason Zabeski is perfect for this Sudbury-Mississauga rivalry, so we've been missing him. And
exactly.
Yeah, it would be nice to get Mason Zabeski back in there. We have about a minute or so. If anybody has a life tip, jump in.
I do. One. I just got one. Don't put a stigma on somebody if you don't know them. I'm going to say that right now. And we talked about this before between the three of us. people, if you hear somebody say something bad about somebody, oh, this person's this or this person's that, I don't care what you say. That's me until I meet that person, right? Because I've been a couple times, 2-3 times, whatever. I've met the person, seemed fine to me. Seems like a nice person. Why do people talk bad about them? Don't do that. Life's too short. Be nice, be respectful. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, just kind of like figure things out for yourself. If you hear somebody say something, whether it's about a person or anything, you really don't know until you've experienced, until you've talked to them. So don't take anybody's advice or whatever they're telling you about somebody at face value. Go and figure it out for yourself.
Exactly. I can't stand that. I just can't stand it. So,
the best way in life, I mean, the best way to navigate is just through our own experiences. So like if it's a job, if it's a person, like whatever it is, a product, if you buy something as simple, like what if somebody says like, hey, this dishwasher sucked. And you're like, well, I have the same dishwasher and I like it. It's kind of the same idea.
Right. No.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. And life's too short, man.
Yeah.
Life's too short. So that's why I always say, as long as I wake up in the morning, I'm breathing, I'm fine, I'm perfect. That's it. That's all that matters, man.
Perfect way to end episode 28 of Trout Talk. Thank you so much. Let's go Steelheads coming up next. Steelheads and the Sudbury Wolves. And enjoy that game. We'll be on the call for you. Zach Bodenstein, Brendan Lang, Mike Karafalides. Thanks for joining us. And that was Trout Talk, episode 28.